Hello, my name is Liene and welcome back to my channel. This is September wrap-up. September feels long ago and I read 6 books. I'm gonna talk about all of them, plus there's like a 7th book I'm gonna mention, but let's get to the books. The first book I read was Red Rising by Pierce Brown. You can see that I read it in Latvian, and if I say some names incorrectly, please forgive me because I'm taking them from this and how I read those words. If they are like different pronunciation or something in English, yeah, I can't help it. But Red Rising is a series. This is book 1, and it is about Derov, who is a red. This society is divided in castes based on color. Reds are the lowest. Reds work in Mars. They dig for this precious, valuable substance, helium-3, maybe, don't count on that, but some kind of a helium, I feel like. And they do that to help people, like smarter people, kind of smarter people, to terraform the planet so they can live on Mars. When his wife is killed, he finds out that it has already been done. The planet has been terraformed and people have been living there for hundreds of years. But the Reds are still working generation after generation and kind of being slaves. Then he is kind of taken in by this rebel movement and he is transformed and sent to the Golds, that is the higher caste, and he infiltrates them to overtake them, and that starts his journey. So yeah, it is hard to talk about this book because right now, as of filming, I'm in the middle of the 3rd already, and it is hard to talk about only this one when I know a lot of things that has happened after the events in this one. It is really interesting. It doesn't hold back on violence, and yeah, as I said, I don't know what can I say because everything is mixing up with the next 2 books, and I don't want to say too much because it might not be related to this book. But yeah, it definitely is a book I liked. It kind of kept me on my toes. I really wanted to know what will happen next, so yeah, I'm on book 3 now. Next, I read an ebook, Dating Games by V.K. Lay. I don't know how to pronounce the last name of the author, so excuse me if I did it wrong, but I'm now trying to remember what this book was about. If I remember correctly, then this one was about a woman who is dumped on her birthday, 30th birthday, by her long-term boyfriend. She's kind of devastated because she didn't expect that. She expected a proposal, and she goes to a bar and tells everyone at the bar what just happened, and kind of accidentally meets this guy, this very mysterious guy, and strikes fake dating agreement kind of thing with him. So he will help her make her ex jealous, and he needs someone to go to events with him to help his business, because if he's like a serious man in a relationship, some people will take him seriously, more seriously, I guess. So yeah, it is a fake dating story about those two, and it was interesting. They both have like their own issues that they're dealing with, they're trying to get over. The guy is really secretive, and we know that he's hiding something and not telling everything. He has a mysterious past, but of course it all gets revealed over time. But yeah, it was okay, but as you can see, I kind of struggled with remembering the book. It was interesting and quite easy to read at the time, but it's nothing that's gonna stick in my mind. I read this one for Buzzword Reading Challenge, where it was game-related words for September, and game was in the title, so I used it for that. Then I finished up a book that I started back in, I don't know, May or June, or even earlier, I don't remember, but a while ago, and it was Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. This is the first book, I feel like, in a duology, and it is about a society where people are in castes based on birds, and crows are kind of the lowest. They go and they take the dead, collect them, and kill them, the people, if they are like suffering. There is this, I feel like an illness that takes people. They have to like be this kind of the saviors, because they help them die, so they are not suffering anymore. What I didn't understand, I don't know, maybe because it was so long, because it didn't start from the beginning. I started like where I finished, so it was about 100 pages in, I feel like. And there is kind of magic. They use magic. They use teeth for magic. And I found it really weird. And I read it. It wasn't, I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about this at all. I'm not gonna continue, but in this one, the main character and her father go to collect a dead royal, and found out that they are actually not dead. They are trying to escape, and they help them, but at the same time they are now in danger, because like there are higher people who know what they're doing, and they're trying to chase them. And yeah, I don't know, I can't remember really the purpose of the story. So yeah, there's nothing much I can say. I read it, it was what it was, but yeah, as I said, I'm not gonna continue with the series. I'm glad I read it, because it is a favorite book for quite some time ago, and I want to go through my favorite books rather sooner than later, but it is later, not sooner. So yeah, I finished this one off, and it was fine. Then another book I had started previously, like at the beginning of summer, and I decided that it's time to finish, and it was Four Winds by Christine Hanna. This is a historical fiction, and it is set in America in the 1930s. So we follow this woman who had to get married because she got pregnant, and now she lives with her husband's family. They are unhappy, and they live in Texas, and there is this drought, like everything is dying out. Everyone is struggling because of the weather, like windstorms and things are happening. And then they make the decision to go to California to look for a better life, to escape the terrible conditions they need to live in, but it's not that easy. So it is about a woman she's trying really hard to take care of her kids. And it is hard. It is heartbreaking what they had to go through, and how people treat them. The people who have come to California, it was terrible. The conditions they had to live in were terrible. Christine Hanna writes really heartbreaking historical fiction books. Her book Nightingale is one of my favorites, but it is set around World War II. This is in America. I like Nightingale better than this one, but I think by the end I got more into the book, and I really felt for the character. And there was one character that really annoyed me for a lot of the book, and that was her daughter. And her husband, let's not talk about him. that's that. Historical fiction. I hoped that I would enjoy it more, but I didn't hate it. It was a good book. And I will definitely read more by Christine Hanna. I know that I have Great Alone on my shelves, and probably will be the next one that I pick up. So, yeah. So the last books I'm gonna mention, I'm not gonna talk about them a lot because I have a reading vlog for them that I'm gonna link in a description box, so go check it out. And it is the vlog where I read the books my siblings picked for me to read this year. And I can say it went really well. So I have 3 books, but I only finished 2 of them. Let's talk about the 2 I finished. So the first one was Danielle Steele, Sisters by Danielle Steele. This is a book about 4 sisters. There's tragic accident at the beginning of the book, and their lives change from that moment on, and it is how they deal with it. It was a bit hard to read because they are really privileged. They have had everything all the time for the whole of their lives, and sometimes were annoying and felt really spoiled, but I enjoyed it like for the most part, and then the closer it got to end, the more annoying everything was. But for more kind of, I feel like more of my emotions and thoughts, go to the vlog. The next one is The Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. This is about a boy who loses his mother, and he goes to another world, but you don't really understand if it's real or is it his imagination, because he and his mother loved books. They loved reading fairy tales, and in the world where he goes, he meets characters from fairy tales, but the fairy tales are really twisted. Like, they're kind of closer, but not really the originals. If we know that Brother Grimm fairy tales, they were quite dark. And this world has really dark characters. Okay, that's it. I don't know how much I said in the vlog because I don't remember, but there's a vlog. And the last book, I'm just gonna mention it. I'm not gonna talk about it really, because 12 Rules for Life, or Antidote for Chaos, An Antidote to Chaos by Jordan B. Peterson. I DNF'd this one. I just couldn't put myself through it. So I DNF'd. And I don't DNF books a lot. Like, this is the first one this year that I have DNF'd. Probably the only one. So it says quite a lot, I feel like. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I just didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Oh, and the other thing I can mention, it is a non-fiction. About 12 Rules for Life, kind of. But yeah, so this is it for the wrap-up. These were the 6 books I read and the 1 extra that I DNF'd, the 7th one. But yeah, as always, I feel like it is not the best video, but I kind of need to change my mindset when it comes to wrap-ups. I will try and do it, because I shouldn't put myself like that much pressure on myself for, I don't know, something that I have never done. Like, I've never been good. I feel like I have never been good with explaining things very well, especially when it comes to how I feel about things or what I think about things. But it's fine. I'm learning. I'm trying to do it better, and that's all that counts, right? So yeah, please let me know if you have read any of these. What did you think of them? If you haven't read any, then let me know the last book you finished. And that's gonna be it for this video. Also, please check out my Instagram, because I don't know what has happened to me on there, but the algorithm is working against me and my posts are not being shown to my followers. So if you have time, please go check out my Instagram. It is linked in a description box, and follow me, interact with my posts, so the algorithm stops hating me. Because yeah, it just one day stopped showing my posts to my followers. Like one day it was okay, the next day it just suddenly wasn't. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you in the next one. Bye.